game. Listen, that's a playoff football team. SMU, they better be in the dang playoffs. What a comeback by those guys. But listen, I'm proud of our guys. We fought all night to get back here, to get a 10th win, to win this thing for the 8th time in 10 years, and head to the playoffs for the 7th time. Man, I'm just, the heart of our guys, you know, we've been so close, but man, we found a way. And we just, you know, Adam Randall, with the return right there, we screwed it up at the start of the half with 2 just terrible decisions on kick return. Great play by Adam, and then a great job, you know, on the managing the clock there with Antonio, and then just unbelievable kick by this young man from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Flashback.
Ultimately, Alabama's wins over, get this, Greeny, Missouri and South Carolina on top of the win over Georgia, I think really put them in. This committee looked at Vanderbilt and Oklahoma and said, you know what, everybody lost, especially Miami.
You serious?
Well, Paul Finebaum, who's the idiot now? You are. That's who. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Paul Finebaum crying about Alabama being left out of the college football playoff. With Alabama being at 3 losses, it was only sensible that the committee was going to leave Alabama out of the college football playoff bracket. SMU will now take the last spot in the college football playoff as they will finish the season with 2 losses. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Did the committee make the right decision to leave Alabama out of the college football playoff? Absolutely. The committee got it right this time. Last year, they got it wrong. I said Florida State should have made the college football playoff over Alabama based on their own criteria. But this year, the committee got it right, and they put a 2-loss SMU team ahead of a 3-loss Alabama team. There is no way that Alabama deserved to make the college football playoff after what happened this year. You look at how 2 of their 3 losses were bad losses. You lost to 6-6 Vanderbilt, and you also lost to 6-6 Oklahoma. Not only did you lose to 6-6 Oklahoma, you got blown out by 3 touchdowns to Oklahoma. When you have bad losses like that, you don't deserve to make the college football playoff under any circumstance. I don't care who you are. Alabama did not play like a team that was worthy of making the college football playoff. Meanwhile, SMU was very worthy of making the college football playoff. I know some people are going to tell me that SMU did not have a win against a top 25 ranked team this year, but at the end of the day though, win-loss record has to count for something. Otherwise, why play the games? SMU took care of business against the teams they were supposed to take care of, and even their loss against Clemson was pretty impressive. I was at the ACC championship game as a fan, and I was very impressed with what SMU did in the ACC championship game. This was a game with high stakes and high pressure, and SMU came out there and competed big time. I thought SMU was going to fold under pressure, but they did not fold under pressure, especially late in the game. They were down 17 points in the 4th quarter. I was thinking the game was going to be over. Clemson's going to win in blowout fashion, but what happened? SMU fought back in the game. They competed. They got stops on defense. They scored enough points on offense to get back in the game. Their quarterback balled out. He made great plays throughout the 4th quarter. He kept finding open receivers, and that's exactly what he did because they tied the game up at 31. They probably would have won this game had it gone to overtime, but Clemson's kick returner had an excellent kickoff return. He sets up Clemson in excellent field position. Then Cade Klubnik hits an excellent pass to get his team into field goal range. Then Clemson's kicker kicks a 56-yard field goal to win the game at the buzzer. It's a walk-off field goal, and obviously when you lose a football game like that in the ACC championship game, you can't leave SMU out of the college football playoff. SMU clearly deserved to be in the college football playoff. If SMU didn't make the college football playoff this year, there would have been major riots going on in college football, and people would have protested to stop watching the sport, knowing that the committee was going to be extremely biased with Alabama. Me personally, I don't even think Alabama deserved to even be in the position that they were in the first place. I thought South Carolina had a better resume than Alabama to begin with, but it is what it is now. Alabama's left out of the college football playoff. The SEC is only definitely going to have 3 teams making it into the college football playoff. I know Paul Finebaum is pretty triggered about that. He was talking all that smack about SEC football before the year started and how they were the best conference in football. I also want to show you guys this clip of Paul Finebaum attacking Matt Rhule when he said that Big Ten football deserved to have 4 playoff teams in the college football playoff. Obviously, Paul Finebaum took major issue with what Matt Rhule had to say. His take aged horribly. Roll the film.
He says the Big Ten should just automatically get 4 teams in the playoff. Paul, what do you think of that?
Matt, stay in your lane, okay? Job 1, win enough games to get to some stupid bowl game. Don't worry about the big boys because you're not one of them. We saw what you did in the NFL. You were a complete disaster in Carolina. You somehow got this job in Nebraska, and you're talking like you belong at the table with Ohio State and Georgia. You don't. Just try to win maybe 6 games. Quit choking big games on the final play and leave the punditry to the professionals. Thank you.
Although I don't disagree completely with what Paul Finebaum was saying about Matt Rhule, he was still wrong in the principle of what he was saying. He was talking about how the Big Ten was not worthy of making the college football playoff, but they are worthy of making the college football playoff. In fact, the Big Ten has 4 teams that will be making it to the college football playoff. As far as Nick Saban talking about how wins and losses are not created equal, I get where Nick Saban is coming from, but let's not let your Alabama bias get in the way of letting some of these other teams into the college football playoff, because if win-loss record didn't matter, then that means we should just look at the rosters of every team before the year starts, and then we don't play the college football games, and then we can just set the 12-team playoff system just as it is based on the recruiting classes and the transfer portal. Obviously, that is not the right way to play college football. You have to actually play your way into the college football playoff by being able to win the games that you have on your schedule. I know that strength of schedule also matters as well. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, though, if Alabama had taken care of business against a 6-win Oklahoma team or a 6-win Vanderbilt team, we would not be having these conversations. Alabama would definitely be in the college football playoff. It's as simple as that. You can cry about all you want, Paul Finebaum, but at the end of the day, Alabama controlled their destiny and they didn't get the job done. Obviously, Alabama did not play like a team that was worthy of making the college football playoff this year. You also look at how Alabama almost lost to Georgia as well. They almost blew that huge lead. They probably would have blown that lead had Carson Beck not had a terrible first half for Georgia. Carson Beck essentially spotted Alabama a 28-point lead in the second quarter. Alabama's not a bad football team at all, but they're not more worthy of making the college football playoff compared to SMU. In order to actually make the college football playoff, you have to actually win your conference, and if you don't win your conference, then you got to at least get to your conference championship game. No 3-loss team that doesn't make it to a conference championship game should make it to the college football playoff. It's that simple. I don't have a problem with 3-loss teams making the college football playoff if they actually showed up in the conference championship game. But obviously, Alabama wasn't good enough to make it to their conference championship game. It's really that simple. Basic math tells you that Alabama is not worthy of making the college football playoff this year. The eye test also tells you that Alabama was not worthy of making the college football playoff this season as well. There was no indication that Alabama even deserved to be a top 12 team in college football all season long. And obviously, the committee was forced to agree at the end of the day. That's why they put SMU in for the college football playoff. Good job to the committee for getting their rankings right. I'm very satisfied with what the committee did in general. What they did was absolutely right. It was much better than what it was last year. So that is why the committee absolutely made the right decision to leave Alabama out of the college football playoff, as SMU was more deserving of a spot in the college football playoff compared to Alabama. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.